Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen the movie just yet. Hello, welcome to another movie review. Thank you for joining me today. I wanted to create this movie review and talk to you about the greatest detective in the world. No, I am not talking about him. No, I'm not talking about him either. And of course, I'm not talking about her. Anyway, I wanted to talk about The Batman. This is a new movie that just came out from Warner Brothers, starring Robert Pattinson and directed by Matt Reeves. Now, I wanted to go ahead and get this together and get this out of the way here. Now, they titled this movie The Batman. Like this is supposed to be the definition of what a Batman movie is supposed to be like. So let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room and talk about how Robert Pattinson's performance was as Batman. Now, in terms of his performance, I am unable to help myself in terms of comparing him to the performances of Ben Affleck, George Clooney, Michael Keaton, and everyone else who's played Batman in the past. I personally, still to this day, even after seeing The Batman, enjoyed Ben Affleck's performance as Batman the most. Not to necessarily say Robert Pattinson did a terrible job. It wasn't any worse than, say, George Clooney or Val Kilmer. What I can say is there were definitely times where with his performance as Bruce Wayne where I was immersed in his performance and I completely forgot that he was Robert Pattinson and I truly believe he was Bruce Wayne. With his performance as Batman, he does the gravelly voice and all that. There are times where I feel like he was taking inspiration from Christian Bale's performance as Batman. And that can be, for me, at least in the moment, it felt kind of off-putting, but it really didn't take too much away from the overall movie. With that being said, he definitely wasn't the worst Batman, but I believe he was average. Now, in terms of how the actual movie was, I will go ahead and say that the movie overall was pretty good. It was decent. It was definitely a good movie. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't great. My personal favorite Batman movie, I would say, is the mix-up between The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises. Both of them are really high up there for me in terms of Batman movies. For me, at least, personally, and this is just my opinion, The Batman falls probably just underneath those two movies. For me, The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight Rises, then The Batman, and just underneath that is Batman Begins. I enjoyed Zoe's portrayal of Catwoman. She's very agile in this movie, like an actual cat. I didn't expect to see that in this movie, but when she's fighting, she's very agile like a cat. So that was pretty interesting to see. They had some pretty good chemistry, Zoe and Robert, together as Batman and the Cat. With that being said, Colin Farrell plays the Penguin. I personally cannot recognize Colin Farrell as the Penguin, either looking in the trailers or in the movie. I look at the Penguin and I don't see Colin Farrell at all. However, I will make this remark. He has shared a few scenes in the movie with Robert Pattinson, and he's maybe about an inch shorter than Robert Pattinson. Personally, my vision of the Penguin, he's a lot shorter than Batman. So that was kind of off-putting. But it didn't really take away from his performance. Colin Farrell did great as the Penguin. So his performance was spot on. Another thing that I do want to mention in regards to Robert Pattinson as the Batman, just to take note on this, in terms of his physical physique, you can tell that he kind of worked out and got a little bit buff for the role. I do feel like he's too scrawny for the role of Batman. To me, he doesn't fit the physical physique of Batman himself. He looks more like a portrayal of Batman Beyond. For me, the standard Batman is more muscular, like Ben Affleck. So just putting that out there. Those are just my first impressions, my first thoughts of The Batman. The guy that they chose to play the Riddler, I think he did great, especially, after they did the reveal. I feel like the person that they chose to play him looks spot on, like he would be a Riddler type of person. That was perfect casting, in my opinion, for the Riddler. I do have more reviews coming down the pipeline, along with some other stuff coming along the lines here. With that being said, I hope you enjoy this review. Go ahead and go see it. I definitely recommend it, at least watching it once, just to form your own opinion. But I'll go ahead and leave that up to you. Thank you again for watching. I'll catch you on my next movie review. Deuces.